solutions in terms of our interaction with them for reviewing proposals and doing approvals and disapprovals.
Right.
But we have over 80 people working here, and everybody works hard and gets their job done. And the systems, it really is best-in-class systems. I mean, we have worked it out so things get done in a very efficient and effective manner.
Have things changed a little bit in the system since you say you've been here, what, 2 years?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. Do you notice any changes or shifts or improvements since you've been here?
Absolutely. We're actually getting ready to launch a new online system. It's basically, we have what's called My ICLC. So it's the online system that schools log into every day and review artwork and new proposals for various apparel and non-apparel programs. And we're getting ready to launch one that's going to be faster, and like we're constantly getting feedback from schools. So we've had this online system for years,
right?
For 10 years, say. Well, you know, we know that they want it to be faster. We know that there are certain things that they can review quickly and other things that they want to review in detail. We take all this feedback, and now our IT team has come out with basically the next best thing. It's like PlayStation and then PlayStation 2. Like all of a sudden we've got PlayStation 2, and people are going to love this, and they're going to be able to use it. So yeah, I think just over the 2 years that I've been here, but I'm sure over many more years there'll always be advancements that help the whole process.
Yeah, so technology is really big for you guys here.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've actually, not only do the schools do stuff online, but we last year launched online royalty reporting. So before that, when a company was paying the royalty that they owed a university for using and then selling product, using their logo and selling product, they would send in a check and they would fill out a form that said, we sold X number to X number of this, here's the royalty. We sold X number of this, here's the royalty. And they would send a check in. Right. And then our accounting team would go through it and put it in online and make sure everything was right. Well, now we're doing where it's online royalty reporting. So they can, a lot of them can actually match up their own internal system. So like a company has their own system, they can match it up to ours, and they can just dump stuff into it, send it online to us, and then we can do it much faster, more efficiently, and then they can send in the check that they owe, and it's just like that.
Nice.
It's a lot easier. Right. Which we launched last year, and I think we're getting up to like 60 or 70% of our licensees are reporting that way, which is really good, and I think, you know, give us another year and almost all of them, I'd say 99% of them will be reporting online.
Okay, all right. So, guys, they have a really efficient and effective process here with doing their daily job. Since this interview is about, you know, the potentiality of a career with this company, how much autonomy do you have over your daily work, or is it really tightly structured where you know from this hour I'm doing this and so forth, or can you kind of create your own environment for yourself as far as how you get things done?
I would say there's quite a bit of autonomy. I say quite a bit as opposed to a lot because I in my fundraising job before this, I had full autonomy.
Right.
Basically, in that previous job, they would tell me, here's your budget for the year, and we expect you to get to this point, have this many donors, and make this much money.
Right.
Do whatever you have to do to get it done.
Right.
And that's all the direction you would have. So you could run whatever program you wanted, you could travel to wherever you want, but at the end of the year, you better hit your goals or have an explanation why you didn't. So that was full autonomy.
Right.
Here, there really is a system. There are policies in terms of licensees and the structure of each contract with the school, and also what our company has done in the past is important to take into account. So on a day-to-day basis, I'm really on my own to interact with the client however I see fit, to develop the relationship however I need to travel wherever I need to. But there is more of a structure here. I mean, this company didn't get to where it was before I came in without the hard work of a lot of other people. So for me to come in and just do whatever I want doesn't make sense. But they're still, you know, they respect my way of doing things, and so I still have the freedom to do.
You get an opportunity to have input on certain things. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that's a major thing for all employees to at least feel like they have some input into what's going on. Even if the boss really doesn't listen to it, he does his own thing, at least, you know, you're able to say, hey, I think it could work this way. know, sometimes the supervisor's ego doesn't want to, you know, do it right then, but then later on they'll implement your idea.
I totally agree with that. I think here, like all of my bosses, all the people ahead of me in my department have been where I am. They all started, you know, as reps or even lower as interns, and worked their way up through the university services department. So they know the struggles. They know what it's like to deal with licensing directors. They know that every licensing director is different. Not only is every school different in how they handle licensing. Like for example, some schools like at Clemson, their licensing department is in athletics.
Right.
Some schools like UNC, their licensing department is actually in auxiliary services, which handles dining and the bookstore and licensing and probably a few other things. So that's a very different perspective for licensing. And so you have that difference that you have to deal with. You have the personality differences that you have to deal with. And so like all of the people in our department and to a certain extent in our company understand that. And so they appreciate, you know, whatever you're doing to get things done, they're not going to get in your way as long as you're getting things done.
Right.
If you know what I mean. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. You guys just had a company picnic today, Makaika.
Yes, we did.
Which is awesome. What can you tell me about the CLC culture here? I mean, as far as ceremonies you guys do, different stories from past employees or how the company was started, and how does that culture affect you and how you do your job?
There's really a family culture at CLC, and I think that comes from, you know, Bill Battle started it, and it started out as a really small company, and everybody was, you know, busting their ass to make this thing successful. And a lot of those people who came in, you know, 15 years ago and started off at the low rungs making hardly any money are here now, and they're vice presidents and they're leading the company. But the things that they did and the feeling that they had about the company, they've really carried forward.
Right.
And so despite, you know, economic times, and you hear about companies cutting back on Christmas parties all the time and all this stuff, they really worked to keep certain things as a part of our culture. You know, the picnic's an example. They cut back a little bit just to be conservative, not because they're worried that, you know, this company is going under, but they realize these are tough economic times, and maybe we don't need to have a huge party outside with jumpy things and clowns and stuff like that. We can do something and have just as much fun if we just hang out with each other and go outside. I think my favorite of all the things that we do is our badminton tournament. Every spring we have a badminton tournament. We have co-ed, and then there's also a male bracket, and we play. It's basically all day, and people dress up in costumes. They come up with team names. And it's a huge deal around here, and you saw a couple of the trophies I won. I'm very proud of those trophies that I won in our co-ed tournament. But we do a Christmas party, and people hang out together. People know each other's families. Halloween comes, and all the kids from all the CLC kids come. I mean, it's a family atmosphere, and people really care. And you know, those are really cool, fun things. But something as simple as like, you know, my boyfriend busted open his head. Something as simple as that happening, and it seemed like 4 or 5 people brought food over because they knew that it was sort of a stressful time, and I was trying to take care of him. Something very simple like that makes a huge difference of how you feel about work and the people you work with. So it's a very it's tough to. I can say from my previous job that I really enjoyed the people I worked with at UNC and the department, but here it's like everybody is family. And you might not be, you know, as close to someone in another department as you are to some of the people you work with every day. But they will go out of their way to help you or you know.
And you would do the same for them.
Vice versa,
Yeah. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. There's nothing worse than working in a cutthroat organization where you have to watch your back all the time.
Seriously, and I know lots of people who work in like the financial industry, and it's like it's like everybody is out for themselves. Nobody wants to, you know, look out for someone else because they're